Hi friends, my name is Mackenzie, also known as Emtothethird, and this is the Emtothethird Knitting Podcast, episode 41. I've got a lot of whips to show you today, and yeah, I'm really excited to be sitting down and recording. I feel like I've been really bubbling with a lot of inspiration for business ideas, product ideas, and knitting, but not having a lot of time to, finish things. I've been working on a lot of stuff, but there's not a whole lot that I have completed in their entirety as it goes. So, the weather in Portland, Oregon has finally started to really feel springy. The flowers have been really blooming, but the sun hasn't been out, although today, even though the forecast said it was going to be really cloudy, it's really nice out. So after this, I'm going to take Maple on a little WALK. She's hanging out with me while I record. I hope her eating her bone isn't too annoying. Just wanted her to have something to do. But yeah, I've got a bunch of housekeeping to kind of go over, including a giveaway that's going to be in this episode. So stick around for how to enter and what it is and all of those goodies. And then, yeah, just kind of wanted to touch base about a few things happening here in Portland and happening in the virtual sphere. So the first couple of things are, one, if you would like to send me a coffee via Ko-Fi, that would be hugely appreciated. It's never expected, but it's always really helpful. And I would like to say a huge thank you to everyone who supported me since the last podcast episode, especially people who have signed up to pay me monthly. So this is my little thank you list, so thank you especially to Jess. And if you would like to get a little shout out in the next episode, you can go ahead and sign up for recurring donations over on Ko-Fi. Honestly, anything really helps me continue to make content for you and to continue to do this. So yes. Number two is that we have a Discord group. So there's always a link to sign up down below. That never requires any money to sign up. It's a really great community to just share what you're working on, ask questions, talk about food, and we do host a monthly knit night via Discord. So if you're interested in doing that, go sign up down below. Another couple virtual things that I would like to mention. One is that you will have noticed that I've been doing more live streams here on the channel. So basically what that is just like a hangout and knit. I have like a little camera on my cute little face, and then I have another camera on what I'm working on, and you can hang out in the chat and we can talk. I play some nice chill lo-fi music in the background, and it's been a really good time. I've been pretty consistently doing it on Tuesdays, and then also kind of sprinkling in hangouts on the weekend. So if you would like to know about those, give me a follow on Instagram because I post there when I'm going live. If you're subscribed already and haven't been getting notified, you need to hit the bell icon next to subscribe, which will send you a notification when I go live. And in general, if you hit the bell, it will also let you know when I've uploaded. So definitely do that if you're interested in hanging out. They've been really fun. I do also have them archived on my channel, so if you want to check them out, they're all available. The second virtual thing is that I have a new series on my channel that is called Chisme and Knit. Chisme is a word in Spanish that means gossip. And I made a little design that was called Chisme and Knit, and everyone was just yeah, that is the vibe I want. Being a chismosa is being a gossip. And it's just something that my family and I think a lot of other Latinos really resonate with. And also kind of inspired by the newer podcast, Normal Gossip. Yeah, anyway, so I made this Chisme and Knit design on t-shirts and tumblers, and I was like, something I've been wanting to do, and something that my partner Kay has also been really encouraging me to do, is to you know, make like crossover content, I guess, with other knitters. And I don't know why I was just always kind of like, I don't know. But so the first episode of that is live, and it's with my really good friend Chris of the Obsidian Brat podcast. And I will post a link to that up here. And the way to find out about new episodes is all the same ways that I just mentioned. You can follow me on Instagram, and you can subscribe and hit the bell icon here on YouTube. The next one that I'm really excited about has already been recorded, and I'm editing it, so hopefully next Friday is when that one will go live. I'm really excited to share it with you. I think you're gonna have a lot of fun. Yeah. So that's also coming. So that's just a new series that I started that I wanted to let you know about. It's basically just, I wanted to talk to my knitting friends, like partially about knitting, but also about like the knitting community and their experiences within it. And also like being in like a subculture of a subculture. So I'm really talking to queer knitters, BIPOC knitters, and just like what they like to listen to, what they love about the knitting community, what is challenging about the knitting community. Yeah, so that's kind of the goal and the ethos behind the podcast. And yeah, I've got a really great lineup, so I hope you'll go and check that out. It's also the beginning of May, which means that next month is June, also known as Pride Month. And in preparation for Pride Month, I really wanted to make some swag that you can wear or bring to your local knitting group, to show off that you are indeed a queer knitter or a bi knitter or a trans knitter. And so I've made these really awesome, I think they're awesome, I'm pretty proud of them, designs. So we've got queer knitter, bi knitter, trans knitter. Like I said, all of these designs are available on t-shirts, keychains, tumblers, and I would encourage you to pick them up now so that you have them in time to wear to your local Pride event. Again, I'm really excited about these designs. I had a lot of fun making them, and I also have a custom listing on my site. So if there is an identity that you don't see represented, you just buy the custom listing, send me a little boop 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 about what you would like the shirt to say and what flag colors you'd like on it. And I will pop that out for you and get your own little shirt. Another exciting part of this that I can do because of the way that I'm having the shirts be made, I can like accommodate basically anything that anyone wants. Yes, so definitely go that. A percentage of the sales for any of these shirts through the month of May will be going to the Q Center in June for Pride Month, which is the local to me queer resource center that does amazing programming for trans folks and queer folks. And yeah, I'm just really excited to be able to kind of give back to my community a little bit. And I hope you really like the new swag, and that you wear it to your next knit night hang. And in line with this, I also want to mention that my friend Zoe of Junebug and Darlin and myself have started to host some queer craft hangs. We had the first one last weekend, which was just so lovely. We weren't sure what the attendance would be, and we had like 16 people there, which was amazing. And as the weather warms up, we're going to be doing more like outdoor events. If you would like to be on the list, if you are local, even local-ish to Portland, definitely sign up down below. I will put a link to our little Google form so that you can stay informed about the happenings. And it was all part of a fundraiser that we did for Sincere Studio, which is a new queer crafting community like hub in Portland. So something that I'm really excited about and proud of, and I'm so happy to have Zoe doing it with me. We've been friends for a really long time, and sort of having queer community within the crafting space is something that is really important to both of us. So yes, that is in motion. I'm very excited about it, and if you're local, I'd love to invite you to join us. Okay, now on to the next fun part, which is that this episode has a giveaway. So all you have to do to enter the giveaway is make sure you're subscribed. I will be checking. And also leave a comment down below about what you're working on while you're watching this podcast. That's it. It's super chill, and let me show you what you're gonna get. So I made this design couple months ago. I think I showed it off, which is kind of a joke with my wonderful friend Tim, and it says, "I'm knitting with my stash because I'm virtuous." And this design is available on t-shirts, mugs, stickers through my website, but the winner of this giveaway is gonna get is gonna get all 3 colors of the stickers, as well as this beautiful skein of Olan yarn. If you haven't heard Olan, which is a dyer based out of Ireland, they're actually not dyeing anymore. So I felt like this very special skein I wanted to pass along, and so if you love this skein, make sure to enter the giveaway. I will be announcing the winner in the next podcast episode. So you have about a month to enter. So definitely do that. And yeah, it's a nice little prize package that I'm happy to be hosting. And so now we're really moving on into whips, which also leads me to talk about the knit along that I am currently hosting. The premise of the knit along is that you have a 20-sided die and you have 20 yarns. You can use as many as 20 or as few as 4. So you roll a die, and whichever number it lands on, you pick the skein of yarn that number landed on, and you roll again for how many rows of that color you're going to knit. The knit along started on April 1st, so we already have people who have finished, which is so cool. So there's lots of socks, there's a lot of muscle burra hats, or hats in general. Some people are doing like crop tops. I mean, there's so many different options. I am knitting the Simple Sweater by Tin Can Knits, which is like a newer pattern of theirs, and I'm holding 2 strands of fingering weight at the same time to have like a DK weight gauge, but both of the strands are different and they go for different amounts of time. So it's been a really fun process. I've been documenting the whole thing on Instagram and TikTok, and let me show you how mine is going. So this is how I'm keeping track, okay? I've got this notebook, or this notepad, and the orange and green columns are for a stitch marker, which I'll show you on the project, just so I can keep track of like where I started the new color, and I can more easily count back to see where I need to go next. So this is where we're at. We've actually, like, she's going, you know? I actually feel like after the next few rows that I've rolled, I might be able to start ribbing because I want it to be a little bit cropped. I'm gonna have to try it on and decide at that point, but yeah, this is what she's looking like. I'm pretty excited. It is gonna have long sleeves. I'm gonna start the sleeves with this like yellow combination, just so that they have somewhat of a stripe that like matches all the way across, and then each sleeve is going to be random. So it's going to be pretty fun. I have a pair of black corduroy overalls, and I just keep envisioning wearing this sweater with those overalls, and I think it's going to be a really cool look. So yeah, that's my project. This is largely what I've been working on when I go live on Tuesdays, just because I can knit really easily and still watch the chat and hang out. Yeah, so I've been really, really enjoying working on it. And, you know, when you have like big swaths of stockinette, this is an excellent way to like keep yourself motivated, because you're like, okay, well, I just need like a couple more rows and then I gotta switch the yarn. So yeah, I feel like that's one of the reasons I've been flying through it. But yeah, so there we go. And so as part of the D20 Knit Along, I am hosting a few knit nights virtually so that people can check in about their progress, people we cast on together. And the next one is next Sunday, May 7th at 4 p.m. Pacific time. And at that meeting, I'm going to be drawing the first prize. So there are some prizes throughout it, and all you have to do to enter that giveaway is to post a photo of your project either in progress or finished with the hashtag M3D20 Knit Along. I will put it up on the screen right here. And we got a donation from Claudia Carpenter, who is a regular live stream viewer and just like a supporter of me and an awesome Latina maker. So thank you so much, Claudia, for the giveaway prize. Whether or not you are at the Knit Along check-in, as long as you have posted something with that hashtag and your profile is public, and unfortunately it has to be within the US, then you will be entered into the drawing. If you do not have a public profile, then you can DM me a picture and I will still enter you into the chat. That's what I did last year during the sock knit along that I was hosting, and it worked really well. So that's another option. But yes, you have until next Sunday to enter, to just post a photo on Instagram to be included. Yeah. Also, while we were doing the queer craft hang, Frances, who is the owner of Sincere Studio, put out some like lanyard material, and my friend Emmy made me a wonderful lanyard that's rainbow that just says butthole on it. So yeah, get yourself a friend who writes butthole and thinks of you. So the next project is a pair of socks that I've been working on for a while. I mentioned it in the last podcast episode, I am pretty sure, and I definitely talked about it in my like whip inventory video that I posted a couple months ago, and these are Tim's socks. Ooh. So Tim is my lovely coworker and friend who is not a sock knitter, but a fantastic knitter in general. And so it doesn't mean that he doesn't like wearing hand knit socks, he just doesn't like knitting them. So I was like, well, why don't we do a trade where you knit me something and I'll knit you a pair of socks. And so not only that, he gave me a skein of yarn from his stash to knit into a pair of socks, which I thought was really fun. So that's the one done, and I actually just finished doing all of the gusset decreases on the second one. So I really think like I just need like one knit night, one or two knit nights, and I'll be almost done with these. So it's funny that like last year at this time I had already knit 4 pairs of socks, and I just like haven't even finished this one. So yeah, those are going, they're making headway. I really feel like they look like they belong to a gnome track star, which is great. And this fingering weight that he gave me is super plump. I actually noticed one of the plies had snapped somewhere, and I was sort of investigating the yarn, and it is like it's 3 2-plies plied together. So it is a very, very round and dense fingering weight, which I think will be great for like longevity and wearability. So yeah, just kind of making my way through that pair. I think it will probably be done by the next time we chat, which is very exciting. So that's that. And then I also mentioned last month that I had started kind of just like making some granny squares, and they're pretty big granny squares. They're like yay big. And so I had like seamed 4 of them together, and I was like, these together are a little bit a lot. But my sister, who is kind of like a hippie a little bit, I sent her a picture and I was like, if I turned these into just like a bonkers scrap like blanket, would you like this as your Christmas gift? And she was just like, hell yeah. Like very emphatically. She's like very much like a nomad and kind of, I mean, she's like a homebody and also a nomad. For real. And so she was just like very excited about it. I'm like, oh, I see it in your car when you're camping, like, you know, take it with you. So I've made a couple of these like scrappy granny squares. This one I almost undid because it's very purple. I don't know why in my head it didn't seem like it would be like as purple as this, but yeah, I sort of like wasn't a fan of it. But you know what? It works with the rest of the squares, and it's just going to be one square out of the bunch. So that was the one that I finished. And I'm doing 19 like rows of granny squares. I don't think I'll ever do that again. Like the first one I made was kind of intended to be a pillow, and then it's like morphed into a blanket. But yeah, they feel like they take a little bit too long. So, you know, it's fine. But so that's the one that I finished the most recently, and then I have one that I'm almost finished with, which is this one. This one's really fun, I think. So in the very center is like a Knit Picks Felici skein. And then there is a little bit of Perennial from the Fiber Company, which is a yarn I really like. And then I have a bunch of like some Spin Cycle dyed in the wool. And then I just got like a mini set from Prisca Fiber Arts that I've really been enjoying. So this like mauve-y color that's like a tonal is from that. And then I'm finishing it off with this old skein of Hedgehog Fibers singles. Can't remember the colorway, but that's definitely what it is. And yeah, I think it's just rounding it out nicely. I think I'm on the very last round, or the second to last round. So I might finish that tonight. So I'm filming this on Tuesday. And tonight I will be doing a live stream, so I might actually finish that up first thing on the live. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about those. I'll put them together and then attach them to the rest of the blanket, and I think I will probably only need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more of these massive granny squares, and I'll have a pretty decent sized blanket, and then at that point I can decide if I want to make it bigger. But even doing like one of those granny squares a month would get me to that goal, and then I can decide if I want more or not. So we'll see how it does. I've just been having so much fun with crochet, and particularly granny squares, because I can play with color so much, which is not always something I can do in knitting. Although I am also kind of just doing scrappy stuff right now, because that D20 sweater is also kind of like the vibe. But yeah, and I did also want to mention from Prisca Fiber Arts this amazing yarn bowl that I got from them when I got that mini set. So it's 3D printed, which is amazing because I can't tell you how many yarn bowls I've broken that are ceramic. I love them, but Moose has knocked one down. I've dropped one. Like, it's just not great. Comes with this little leather strap that you can take on and off. And it's just like, oh, so freaking cute. So I will put a link to these and Priska down below. They have an Etsy shop. I don't think the yarn bowls are currently in production, but you can sign up to get notifications when they are, because look at how cute this is. So cute. It's like such a good backdrop for photos. So yeah, I've been really enjoying this little guy. I am on a for real granny square kick. Like, I am in my granny square era. I'm in my crochet era, like a lot of other people on TikTok that I've been seeing. And one of the things that I've seen a lot that I really, really wanted to make and couldn't wait to begin was a granny square cardigan. Now, I don't know if you've seen these around the internet, but it is a big old granny square, but it has 6 points to it. So instead of starting in the center and doing 4 and growing from there, which creates like a flat square, you do 6. So you get this like funny shape. I have been very much referring to it as like the granny surprise jacket of crochet, because you take these 2 corners and put them together and you end up with this shape. And so you make 2 of these. Do you see where we're going? You make 2 of these and then you join them down the center back, and you have like, and then you seam up this edge up top and you've got a cardigan. How fun is that? So my plan, I'm kind of just working on this, and if it gets long enough for the sleeve or long enough for the body before like one or the other, like if they're uneven, then I'll figure that out when I get to it. But I'm just going to keep going, doing this little trend. It's been really fun, playing with color and, you know, like making it random enough that it's holding my interest, but also like kind of having a general vibe. And then at the end, I'm going to pick up here and I'm going to knit ribbing, and I'm going to knit ribbing here. And I'm just like so excited about this. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bonkers, okay? I'm not sure. We'll see like how I feel like I'm gonna love wearing it, but I don't know. So the colors I'm using are these 3. Oh, they're so good. From Samilla. The yarn is Samilla from BC Yarn, and it is just 100% wool. And then, oh, my main color is Mischief or Mayhem. It's the sport weight that we carry at Starlight Knitting Society in the color Paul Newman. And I used this for a tank top last summer, so I had some of it left over, and then I got another skein of it. So that's like the main color that's being held throughout. And then I just picked up this skein of Shades of Earth from, it's a spin cycle. Ooh. And I think that's going to coordinate really well with the colors that I already have going on. I actually bought that pattern off of Etsy. It's called the Medu cardigan, but it's kind of a, you can find examples, I guess, of it like on TikTok and YouTube. But if you're curious about that, I will leave a link down below, because I think that's going to be a really, really fun finished object. It's going to take a while. Like, I'm just, you know, taking my time with everything right now. But it's just, I don't know, I'm just having so much fun playing with color, and I'm just trying to like ride that wave, you know? Okay, so now we're entering into FOs, and I don't have, I don't know, I was like thinking I don't have a lot of FOs, but I did finish like 3 things recently. So let me let me talk about them. So the first thing was the pressed flowers hat. So it's pretty cute. So I've definitely like realized, well, let's see. So we're doing a knit along at Starlight Knitting Society, which is the local yarn store that I work at. And some people are making the cardigan, some people are making the shawl, and I just wanted a small project because I wanted to participate, but got a lot of knitting that I'm working on right now. So I decided to do the hat. I used Barocco's Lawnus Light as the main color, and then I used a beautiful skein of Dyed in the Wool in the color Cold Comfort for my contrast. And the hat pattern is in one size, and they say the circumference is like 18 inches finished. My head is like 24 inches around. I've got a big old head. And I was like, that's not gonna work. So what I decided to do was add a extra repeat of the pattern. And I was just like, hopefully that works. My gauge was like pretty on, and so I just added that extra one, did the decreases. And I was a little, when I first put it off, I had it on my head without the brim folded, and the back is just like so flat like this, and I was not 100% happy with it. But I went into work and I was showing it off, and Tim was like, you just have to roll the brim up, it looks so cute. And honestly, this is the style of hat that I find that if I knit a hat that's kind of like, I don't even know how to describe it. It feels a little bit like bucket hat-ish to me. Like it just sits like on the top of my dome. It's not slouchy, basically. And this is like another hat that I knit that's very similar to this is from Knits About Winter by Emily Foden. I think it's called like the Skyline hat or something, but it fits very similar to this on me, where it's just kind of like a little cap on my noggin. And this is definitely like the hat that I think looks the best on me and that I gravitate towards when I'm like picking out of my pile of hats. So yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. It was very fun to knit. I definitely understand why the motif is so popular and like addicting, because it's very simple to get, like it's very easy to memorize, and I think it's very effective. Simple and effective is like the knitting dream, like what people call potato chip knitting, and that definitely this hat pattern definitely felt like that for me. So I finished it pretty quick, you know, as part of the knit along, and I am really, really happy with how it turned out. So yeah, that's one FO. Of course, when I showed it to my mom, she was like, oh my god, thanks for making me a hat. And I was like, subtle. It is Mother's Day like in 2 weeks, but I don't know. So the other hat that I have, if you watched my like knitting vlog that I updated, which is a new style of video that I'm trying that I really enjoy making, I'll post a link to it up there. I had like kind of a bad day, and Kay, you know, I got home and I was just like freaking over it, like blah blah blah. Kay was like, what do you want to do to make yourself feel better? And I was like, I am a Y2K child of the burbs, and I just want to go walk around a chain store to soothe myself. And so we went to Joann's and I found a skein of Thick and Quick woolies that I just adored the colors on. I got one skein and I was like, I'm gonna make myself a little hat. I ended up making myself a very big hat because it is Thick and Quick, and I ran out of yarn. So in that vlog, I go and pick up a second skein and then finish the hat real quick. So this is a hat that you basically make a big rectangle and then seam it up and cinch it up, and then you have a little hat, and it's like ribbed. It is like comically large, but I love it. I said at the end of that vlog that I feel like I'm wearing one of those like Russian fur caps, which I still feel like is accurate. But yeah, I really like it. I like the colors of it. I like that it's so chunky. I feel like this like style of beanie, or as my Canadian friends call it, a toque. I feel like this style really was popular in like 2010. Like very like Etsy era. Yeah, I remember like just looking at hats like this and being like, oh my god, I want that so bad. And now I make one. So yeah, it's goofy as hell. I can't wear it because it started warming up and this hat is so warm, but I do think it'll be like fun to style it in the upcoming fall and winter. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of keep that hanging out. It's so, I mean, it's absurd, but I love her. I don't know. I could undo it and like knit one that's like slightly smaller, but again, I like her. Another FO that I have finished is the second, what is it called? Second pick and mix that I made for my niece. So I really do not knit with acrylic yarn. Like I don't even know if I had any in my stash prior to this, like Thick and Quick. And we have an acrylic yarn at the store that we really needed a sample of. The label is a little like outdated, but we knew it was like a nice acrylic, and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna knit this sweater pattern that I already know that I really like, and I'll just make it in like a size 2 for my niece who's about to turn 2. I don't know if you guys remember when she was born. My god, time flies. And that also means that I'm just about at my 2-year anniversary in Portland, which is also like so I picked out some colors and I knit this very, very sweet little baby sweater. I bought snaps. I had talked about putting snaps on it, but I just like couldn't do it, and I would rather it be at the store selling yarn than me sitting on it and being like, I need to just put snaps on it, but I'm not. So here's like a little picture. I think it turned out really, really cute. I think it's gonna be nice and comfy for her, and it'll be washable. So yeah, I'm definitely not like an acrylic convert, and like I feel like the thing that I am like, I don't know if you all saw recently like on TikTok this like trend of like de-influencing knitting stuff, or I mean it was generally like de-influencing like creator sponsored stuff, but of course that bled over into the knitting world, and I feel like something that was ingrained in me really early on because of like the knitting community that I was in was that like acrylic is bad. And you know, the first yarn that I ever knit with was Red Heart Super Saver in like a hot pink. I think I actually have a picture of like my first like weird garter project, which I'll put there. And I'm just like, I don't know if it's like just my brain chemistry is seeing more gray area or like really accepting more gray area. I don't know, but I'm just not being so quick to be judgy of acrylic. I know that I will always choose natural fibers if given the option between, you know, one or the other. That being said, I don't think it serves the community and inclusivity to be as vehemently against acrylic as a lot of people are. And so, yeah, I'm just kind of trying to like, I'm trying to diversify my knitting experience. And if it seems funny in a lot of ways to kind of be going almost like the reverse of the traditional narrative, where like you start off with the cheap stuff and then you learn about like the more expensive stuff, and that's the direction that you always want to go in. But for me, it's kind of been the opposite, but I think that it's really beneficial to sort of understand when things can be helpful. Like I said, I will not always use acrylic, but there are instances when acrylic can be really useful, and I like adding to my sort of arsenal what kinds of acrylic could be helpful for specific projects, and that's really what this allowed me to do. So yeah, anyway, just like a little reflection that I had as I was working on stuff. If there's any whip that I haven't talked about that you're like, what about that guy? What about this? I would love for you to leave a comment down below, because there are definitely some things that get tucked away, and especially after just going through like my whips, I would love to know if there's something that you were like excited for me to make progress on that I haven't talked about. Yeah, just out of curiosity. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I was super excited to sit down and record a podcast, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to support me via Ko-Fi, I will post the link down below as well as right here. Remember, if you have not posted your D20 Knit Along giveaway entry, to do that on Instagram with the hashtag M3D20 Knit Along. And last but certainly not least, thank you for supporting like a little queer maker here on the internet. I really appreciate you being here, and we'll talk soon. Bye.